With Cooking with the Dean. Today we're going to make a Thanksgiving feast in about 35 minutes. And we have a lot to be thankful for this year after Sandy. Today I'm going to make a really easy Thanksgiving feast. I'm going to make easy turkey pot pie. I will make carrot, raisin, cumin salad. I will have cranberries from a can. I will also grill some vegetables. And then for dessert, I'm making a blueberry pear crisp, not unlike apple crisp. Today we have to go backwards because cooking is a lot like college. You have to prioritize, you have to manage, and you have to be organized in order to get everything done. So the thing that takes the longest is the apple blueberry crisp. It needs to really cook up. So I've got my oven preheating to 375. I've already washed my hands for good food safety. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of butter on the bottom of this pan. And I have, as I said, washed my hands, and I don't really want butter all over my hands. So I'm just kind of putting butter all over the bottom of this baking dish. It's an 8 by 8 baking dish approximately. So I'm just kind of putting this on the bottom. It can be lumpy, what have you. So then what I want to do is, you know me, Nutella French toast. I like a little cinnamon. Actually, I like a lot of cinnamon. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pears, and this is really an adaptation of apple crisp that my mother used to make. And she always used apples, and you're supposed to use about 3 cups of apples. I've amended it to be pears and blueberries, which I think is a really nice combination. And today what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, now make sure you don't get the core of the pear because, you know, that's not really very tasty. So we core that out, and I'm basically slicing 4 giant slices off the pear and leaving the core in the center. And then, as I said today, I'm going to layer these pears down on the bottom of this baking dish, right on top of the cinnamon, right on top of the buttered dish. And it's really quite an easy, yummy dessert. I've already washed my blueberries, and I'm going to put blueberries all over the bottom of this and just empty this out and make sure they're sort of pretty much evenly distributed. Okay, so I filled about a cup of flour here, and about the recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, but I always put more. Just because I like the sweetness of it. And then this is a stick of warm butter. And it says to cut the butter. And so I am cutting the butter, literally. And I'm just going like this, and I'm putting it into quarters as a stick. And I'm putting it in here, into my bag, and I'm going to just kind of make sure this gets mixed up. If I was in my home, I'd be using a bowl, obviously. But right today, I'm kind of mixing this up. I'm getting the butter mixed in, and I'm kind of making a little bit of a mess, but it's totally okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and get this scooped out, and I'm going to just really make sure, because it will mix in the end, this flour, brown sugar, and butter mixture goes over the top. But you really kind of want to cover it because this actually, along with generous amounts of cinnamon, which I always put a lot, remember, I spread around. And I make sure that it's sort of butter here, butter there, and that we've got the floury mixture in covering the entire fruit. And you'll see that it looks really kind of awful and lumpy, if you will. I mean, you see it kind of doesn't look like that's going to be very good, Dean O'Grady. And then what I'm going to do again is just kind of sprinkle lightly the top with cinnamon. And I am putting this on the oven, 375, 40 minutes, and I'm putting it in here. And because I'm a nice clean chef, I put foil in the bottom of my tray in the oven so that if any kind of thing kind of bubbles out, it doesn't make a mess in my guest kitchen today. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to make that turkey pot pie. Now, I'm putting a little bit of this spray oil just on the bottom. And you can make this from homemade, which is basically some butter, browning some mushrooms and some onions, and then you add milk and water and get it nice and bubbly with some flour. But I'm really doing the student version. And basically what you do is you go by AuBon Pain, Hale and Hardy, you go to the cafe and you buy a creamy soup. This is turkey and rice. And essentially what you're doing is you're just pouring this into the bottom of this baked dish like this. Very, very, very easy. And I'm just really getting all the soup out, and I'm just making sort of a soupy bottom base. And then I'm just covering like this. I'm putting a little salt, just very much, a little pepper. And then here comes the cheater part as well. You take a can of Crescent rolls. And what you're doing is you're rolling out the Crescent rolls so they're flat, or sort of flat. And then I'm just going to roll this. It comes sort of like in 8, so it's almost like a half a sheet. And I just go like this, and I lay it on the top. And I lay it out flat, and I tuck it around. And then I just take my other pieces to make sure I really cover up this soup mixture. And this really only takes, you can put it in the oven with this, and it really only takes about 20 minutes. And so again, I have to put some air vents in so steam can come up and it can fully cook. But this is only going to take 20 minutes. That's taken 40. So what I'm doing is putting this aside so that I know it's ready at the 20-minute mark.